What if the changes you may be noticing in sensation and responsiveness are not simply something you have to accept with age? What if those changes are signals from your body asking for better care, not a final verdict on your sexual health? Many men quietly assume that reduced sensitivity, slower arousal, or a general dulling of pleasure is just part of getting older. The truth is far more encouraging than that. I'm Dr. Selena Clark, and today I want to share a perspective that often surprises men. A large part of what we associate with penile aging is not purely caused by age itself. Instead, it is strongly influenced by tissue stress, reduced circulation, inflammation, and cellular damage that build up slowly over time. When you understand what is actually happening inside the tissue, you begin to see that there are realistic ways to protect it and, in some cases, support recovery. The penis is not a simple structure. It is made of highly specialized tissue that depends on healthy blood vessels, responsive nerves, and elastic connective fibers. When everything is working well, blood flows in easily, the tissue expands smoothly, and nerve endings transmit clear, pleasurable signals to the brain. As years pass, however, several subtle changes can start to interfere with this process. Small blood vessels may become less efficient at delivering oxygen and nutrients. The collagen and elastin fibers that allow the tissue to stretch and recoil can weaken. Nerve endings may not fire as sharply as they once did. At the same time, oxidative stress and low-grade inflammation can quietly damage cells at a microscopic level. None of this happens overnight, which is why many men don't notice the problem until the changes feel significant. The result of this gradual process is something many men recognize but rarely talk about openly. Sensitivity feels reduced, arousal may take longer, erections may not feel as firm or as reliable as before. Overall satisfaction can decline, leading to frustration or worry. What matters most is understanding that much of this decline is linked to tissue health, not destiny. Tissue health can often be supported. This brings us to a surprisingly simple but scientifically interesting approach. There is growing evidence that certain nutrients can support tissue protection and repair when they are delivered directly to the area that needs them. One of the most studied of these is vitamin E. Vitamin E is widely known as a skin-supporting nutrient, but its role goes much deeper than surface-level moisturizing. It is actually a family of powerful antioxidants that protect cells from damage. One of its most important qualities is that it is fat-soluble, meaning it can integrate into the lipid membranes that surround every cell in the body. Those membranes are especially vulnerable to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress occurs when unstable molecules known as free radicals damage cells over time. This process accelerates aging in many tissues, including penile tissue. When vitamin E is present in cell membranes, it acts as a protective barrier, neutralizing free radicals before they can harm the cell. This alone can slow further deterioration, but vitamin E does more than just defend. Healthy erectile tissue depends heavily on proper blood flow. Vitamin E has been shown to support the health of the endothelium, the thin layer of cells lining blood vessels. A healthy endothelium produces nitric oxide, a molecule that allows blood vessels to relax and widen. When blood vessels can open more easily, circulation improves. Improved circulation means more oxygen, more nutrients, and better conditions for cellular repair. Another important factor in penile health is elasticity. The tissue must be able to expand and contract smoothly. This ability depends on collagen and elastin, two proteins that weaken with age and stress. Vitamin E helps protect these proteins from breakdown and supports a healthier tissue structure. Over time, this can contribute to better firmness and a more natural response during arousal. Nerve health is equally important. Sensation depends on delicate nerve endings that can be damaged by poor circulation, inflammation, and oxidative stress. Vitamin E has demonstrated neuroprotective properties, meaning it helps preserve nerve cell function. When nerves are better protected and nourished, signal transmission improves. This often translates to clearer sensations and a stronger connection between physical touch and pleasure. One of the most effective ways to deliver vitamin E to penile tissue is through topical application. When applied directly, especially during moments when blood flow is already increased, vitamin E can reach the tissue in higher concentrations than it typically does through oral supplements. This targeted approach allows the nutrient to work exactly where it is needed most. At this point, it becomes clear that the goal is not quick stimulation or temporary enhancement. The goal is supporting the underlying health of the tissue itself. This approach focuses on protection, circulation, elasticity, and nerve support. When these foundations are cared for, improvements in function and sensation often follow naturally. This understanding alone can be empowering. Instead of feeling like decline is unavoidable, you begin to see that there are constructive, science-based steps you can take to care for your sexual health. In the next part, I will explain how this approach works in practice, what the research shows, and why consistency and proper use matter so much when it comes to long-term results. One important reason this approach can be effective is how the body responds during arousal. When blood flow to the penis increases, tissue becomes warmer, vessels expand, and cellular uptake of nutrients improves. Applying vitamin E oil during these moments takes advantage of the body's own natural circulation boost. Instead of relying on the nutrient to slowly travel through the bloodstream and reach the area in small amounts, you are delivering it directly to the tissue when it is most receptive. It's also important to understand why topical use can offer different benefits than oral supplements. When vitamin E is taken by mouth, it is processed through digestion, distributed throughout the entire body, and used wherever it is needed. Only a small percentage ends up reaching penile tissue. With topical use, the concentration stays local. Combined with gentle massage, this allows vitamin E to penetrate the outer layers and move toward deeper tissue more effectively. The massage itself plays a meaningful role. Gentle, unhurried stimulation supports circulation, keeps nerve pathways active, and encourages oxygen-rich blood to move through the tissue. Over time, this regular circulation support helps maintain responsiveness and tissue vitality. When vitamin E oil is added, the massage becomes more than just stimulation. It becomes a supportive practice that combines mechanical blood flow enhancement with cellular protection. Research has explored vitamin E's role in several aspects of tissue aging. Studies have shown improvements in tissue oxygenation, which is essential for healthy cells. Others have demonstrated reduced fibrosis, which refers to the buildup of stiff, scar-like tissue that can interfere with normal expansion. There is also evidence of improved endothelial function, which directly supports stronger and more reliable blood flow responses. Inflammation deserves special attention here. Chronic, low-grade inflammation accelerates aging throughout the body. In penile tissue, it can damage blood vessels, irritate nerves, and weaken connective fibers. Vitamin E's anti-inflammatory properties help calm this process. By reducing inflammatory stress, the tissue is placed in a better environment to maintain itself and, in some cases, repair minor damage that has accumulated over time. Not all vitamin E products are the same, and understanding this matters. Natural vitamin E is often labeled as D-alpha tocopherol, while synthetic versions are labeled DL-alpha tocopherol. The natural form is more easily used by the body. Some oils also contain mixed tocopherols, which include different forms of vitamin E that work together. These blends can offer broader protective effects. The texture of the oil is also relevant. A good vitamin E oil should provide smooth lubrication without feeling sticky or heavy. Many high-quality products achieve this naturally, while others blend vitamin E with supportive carrier oils such as coconut or almond oil. These carriers can enhance comfort and moisturization without interfering with absorption. Safety is an important part of any health-related practice. Vitamin E oil is generally well tolerated, but individual skin sensitivity varies. A simple patch test on another area of skin can help reduce the risk of irritation. If redness, itching, or discomfort occurs, use should be stopped. It's also important to remember that oil-based products should not be used with latex condoms, as they can weaken the material. In partnered situations requiring protection, water-based options are safer. What makes this approach particularly valuable is that it works on multiple levels at once. Vitamin E protects existing healthy cells, improves circulation, reduces inflammation, helps preserve elasticity, and supports nerve health. Rather than forcing a temporary response, it supports the natural systems that allow healthy responses to occur. Many men report that changes happen gradually. Sensation may feel clearer, the tissue may feel healthier and more responsive. Erections may feel more natural and reliable. The timeline varies from person to person depending on age, overall health, and how long tissue stress has been present. What matters most is consistency and patience. This is not about chasing perfection or unrealistic expectations. It's about preserving function, comfort, and enjoyment over time. In the next part, I'll explain how regular practice fits into long-term sexual health, address common questions, and discuss why mindset and self-care play such an important role in lasting results. Long-term improvement in sexual health is rarely about a single action. It comes from consistent care, patience, and a realistic understanding of how the body responds to support. Tissue regeneration and nerve recovery do not happen instantly. They develop gradually as the environment inside the body becomes healthier. When you use vitamin E oil regularly and mindfully, you are creating that healthier environment step by step. Consistency matters because the protective and restorative effects of vitamin E build over time. Each application helps shield cells from further oxidative damage while supporting circulation and calming inflammation. Over weeks and months, this can slow down the processes that contribute to decline and, in some cases, allow partial recovery of sensitivity and responsiveness. The key is to see this not as a quick fix, but as part of an ongoing self-care practice. Technique also influences results. Using a moderate amount of oil, warming it in your hands, and applying it with slow, gentle movements encourages better absorption and circulation. Rushing through the process reduces the benefits. A calm, attentive approach supports both physical effects and mental relaxation, which also plays a role in sexual function. Stress and anxiety can interfere with arousal and sensation, so any practice that encourages relaxation adds value. Some men notice changes sooner than others. For those with mild tissue stress or early changes, improvements in comfort or sensitivity may appear within a few weeks. For others, especially if circulation issues or inflammation have been present for years, progress may take longer. This does not mean the approach isn't working. It simply reflects how long the tissue has been under strain. The body often needs time to respond to consistent support. It's also important to understand what this approach can and cannot do. Vitamin E oil is not a cure for serious medical conditions, and it is not a replacement for professional medical care when needed. In conditions involving significant scar tissue or structural changes, it may serve as a supportive measure rather than a standalone solution. In those cases, working with a healthcare provider ensures that all aspects of health are addressed appropriately. Beyond the physical effects, there is a meaningful psychological benefit to taking ownership of your sexual health. Many men feel discouraged when they believe decline is unavoidable. When you actively care for your body, that mindset begins to shift. Confidence often improves, and with it, sexual satisfaction. Feeling proactive reduces anxiety, and reduced anxiety alone can make a noticeable difference in responsiveness and enjoyment. Vitamin E also supports overall health beyond localized use. It contributes to cardiovascular support, helps manage oxidative stress throughout the body, and plays a role in maintaining healthy cell function. Since sexual health is closely tied to heart health and circulation, these broader benefits matter. The body functions as a system, and improvements in one area often support others. What makes this approach appealing to many men is its simplicity. There is no reliance on strong medications, no invasive procedures, and minimal risk when used responsibly. It's a natural option that aligns with how the body already works, supporting processes that are meant to maintain tissue health. When practiced privately and comfortably, it allows men to care for themselves without pressure or embarrassment. Ultimately, preserving sexual health is about respect for your body. Changes with age do not mean giving up on comfort, sensation, or confidence. They mean adapting your care to meet new needs. Vitamin E oil is one tool that can support that goal by addressing oxidative stress, circulation, inflammation, and nerve health all at once. If you have noticed changes and have been searching for a gentle, evidence-based way to support your body, this approach may be worth considering. Give it time, stay consistent, and listen to how your body responds. Small, steady actions often lead to meaningful results. Your sexual health is an important part of your overall well-being. It deserves attention, patience, and care. When you support the foundation of tissue health, you are investing not just in function, but in long-term comfort, confidence, and quality of life.